Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Anu here. Today we are going to discuss about another topic called REST API. You may heard about what is REST API. You'll be hearing that REST API, REST endpoint, and RESTful services and all, but you're not 100% sure what it is. Today I'm going to discuss in and out of REST API. What does it mean? Maybe by the end of this video, you'll be getting a clear picture about what REST API means. Okay. Before going deep into the REST API, let's understand what is the application programming interface API. APIs are the way a software communicate with each other. Suppose if there is a client and server, they communicate each other using some application programming interface. Especially in the case of HTTPS, there are some verbs are there to communicate, just like put, delete, get, update, patch, etc. These are the verbs used by HTTP. REST API is using the same verbs to communicate with the backend databases and do the actions on behalf of you. To easily understand this REST API, imagine like it is just like a restaurant. Okay, you are a customer in the restaurant, and whenever you need some food, you are not going to the kitchen and preparing the food by yourself, right? You'll be having some menu there. Okay, that menu is called the REST document. Okay, and you'll be calling the waiter. That waiter will be asking the waiter to get this food. What the waiter will do, waiter will go to the kitchen, and in the kitchen the food will be prepared and get the food from the kitchen and serve to us. That waiter is acts as the application programming interface between we and the kitchen. We are the client, kitchen as the server. That means API is just like a waiter who is getting the data from the backend database and giving the required response back to the client. That is us. This is what has a basic understanding of what is REST, what is API is. By the name suggests, REST means representational state transfer. Okay, don't worry about the jargon names. But what does it use is behind the scene, the REST API uses HTTP verbs, just like put, get, update, delete, and all. Okay, that's the same protocol used by the HTTP to communicate between the client and the server. We have already seen in the previous session, that is HTTP versus HTTPS, the same protocol used by the REST also. Okay, let's go ahead and see some principles of Rust. Rust, everything is a separate resources. If you want to get the details of the user, that is one resource. And if you want to get the product details, that is a resource. If you want to get the blog post, that is a separate resource. That means in Rust, everything is a separate URL. Every object we are requesting, that is a separate URL request. Okay, in Rust we can see one more thing, that is called the stateless server doesn't remember the previous conversation, including the authentication. If you want to process authentication, every time you need to send the authentication along with the request. That is called the stateless. The Rust is stateless. It is not going to remember your previous conversation. That's why it is called stateless communication. And let's go ahead and see this in details, including the practicals. Let's see a few things regarding the Rust API. This is how the Rust is working. And from the client, either it is a mobile or browser, we'll be sending the request to the Rust API server. I am giving get all the users. It will create the URL slash users for the slash user, that is the all users. It will send to the REST API server. From the REST API server, the SQL query will be fired to the database. From the database, the REST API will get the rows. What are the rows is there? The users details are there. It will be returned to the API server. That will be sent back to the client or the browser or something we are using as a JSON format. If the request is successful, we will get the status code as 200. There are different status code are there. We are going to discuss all the status code related to this in the upcoming. Let's go ahead and see what is Rust is. This is what the explanation regarding the Rust. Rust, what is Rust? Rust is an application programming interface. I have already shared earlier. Uh, a contract between the client and the server. Okay, you ask the data, the server will respond with the data. The server will respond with that data, but through this Rust API. Okay, Rust means a representational state transfer. It uses HTTP verbs like get, post, put, delete, etc. to get the resources from the server. Okay, resources means whatever we communicate through REST API, everything is a resource. I have already told. If it is a user, that is a separate URL, that is a resources. If it is a user slash 42, that is your username with user with the 42 ID, that is a separate URL. Only that user with the ID 42, the details will be shared. And the output always will be in JSON format. Output always will be in JSON format. We'll get the JSON output. Okay, these are the HTTP webs we can use. That is get, that is to get the user details, and post to post something or create a new data. Put, that means to update or modify. We can use put or patch for updating the details. Delete, to delete the user from the backend database or from the resource. It is just like I have already shown. It is just like a menu is the API doc. Order is the HTTP request, and this is the JSON format. Let's go ahead and see what are the endpoints. I have already discussed. These are the endpoint in REST API. Get, that is to get the user details. Post, to create any user. Get slash ID, it will be, we are going deeper into the granular level, including the ID. We will get that particular user ID, who what belongs to that user details belong to that particular user ID. Put, it will update the user, or we can use the patch also. Delete, it will delete the user. There are different status code associated with the REST API. Let's go ahead and see what are the status code. Three types of status code are there. That is 2xx, 4xx, and 5xx. 2xx, that is a success status code. 200 means request succeeded. 201 means it has created, resources being created. 204 means no content or deleted. Okay. Okay, these are the success status code. In 4x, that is the client side error. If there is an issue with the client side, that's from our side, that is a 4x. 400 means bad request or invalid input. 404 means not found or no such resources. 409, it's a conflict, duplicate request already exists in the process. 422, unprocessable or validation failed. If there is any username or password mismatch or something, that will throw the um, unprocessable or validation failure. And we have the 5x. 5x error means is the issue from the server side. 500 means internal server. Something happened to the internal server, it will throw the 500 error. 503, service unavailable. Particular that service will be down for patching or something, then that will throw the 503 error. A rule of thumb is 2x is all good, 4x is you made a mistake, and 5x is server made some mistake. These are the status code. Let's go ahead and see this um, API interfaces and all in practical, so that we'll have a clear understanding what does this REST API actually mean. And I'm going to show you the a sample code, what how we are going to develop this REST API and all. I'm using FastAPI to develop a code. I already have that code. I'm going to explain that code. This is a simple fast API application. Here from the FastAPI, I'm importing FastAPI, HTTP exception, and status. Status is for the status code. I'm using Pydantic for data validation. I am importing the base model for inheriting the. We are going to inherit the base model, and using that, we are going to do the basic data validation. Data validation is very much important while we are working with the data which is going to be saved in database or anywhere, and it is very important for handling the generic kind of project where we are going to use this Pydantic data model validation. And this is for typing and data MUID. That's all. Here we are defining the R application. This is our FastAPI application. Application name is REST API demo, and this is the description. This is the version, and this is the contact name of that particular website or that application. It's a basic application, and we are using in-memory databases as a dictionary to save all the data, because I'm not, it's just a demo project, so I'm just using as a in-memory dictionary to store the data. And there are different models are available for handling the user data. uh, User create is the first model. As the second one is a user resource and user update. Three classes I have defined for handling this application. One is to create user. We have to give the username, user email, and role. These are the required parameter to create one user. Next thing is user response, and user response will have the ID, name, email, role, and created when this resource has been created. Those information will be available. User update, if you want to update any user data, we will be we have to pass the name, email ID, and role. Let's go ahead and see what are the routes. Routes mean these are the API endpoints. Okay. There are different endpoints are available. One is to get the data from the backend database or from the file or wherever the data is residing. Then the post, you need to create some user or something that is a post. Then update, for if you want to update something, we can use put as an endpoint to update. Put or patch we can use, and that is for updating. And then finally we can delete the user from the backend. That is the delete endpoint. And if you see every route, I have defined the get route here. Immediately I have defined a function to get the details from the backend. Like that, for post, I have given after the post route creator, I have defined what is the function it has to create. Whenever we execute a post command, this function will be executed internally to get the to create that particular user. And like that, if you want to get a user, it will be executing this function. Suppose if you are going to go deeper into that level, that is user and user ID, then this function will be get executed. Each one will have separate function like this. What does it mean by in REST API? These are all resources. Each resources are associated with separate URLs, and also it is a stateless. That means it is not going to save any previous conversation. Whenever you want to request something, if there is any authentication required, you need to pass the authentication once again from the beginning to get the details. And this is to put or patch, that is for updating based on user ID. Whenever we want to update something, we need to specify the ID of that particular user. Based on that, it will be updating the data. Update user, then finally delete user, and we have to give the user ID so that that user ID will be deleted. This function will be get executed. Let's go ahead and run this application. This is the command you can execute to run any fast API kind of application. We have to execute uv run main app. Now already my application already running. We can see here this application is already running. That is Python uv run main hyphen reload. Hyphen reload means if there is any change happen backend, immediately it will take from the backend. You don't need to stop and rerun the application. Let's go ahead and open this application. If we execute this command http 127.0.0.1.800, that means it will, first of all, it will go to that means we are not specifying any resources. If we are not specifying any resources, it will go to this route. This route means there is no endpoint defense, so it will land on the root. Root means it is giving a status health. Let's go ahead and see what is the status health. Status is okay. REST API demo is live. Docs is docs. If you want to see the documentation, just copy this docs endpoint. Let's paste it here. Here we go. This is the Swagger API page for the REST API. These are the different methods available. We can get the root. This is for the health check. And write out, execute. It is executed, and we got the code as 200. That means status is okay. REST API demo is live. That means everything is working fine. Let's close this one and let's go ahead and execute one by one. I want to get the users, all the users. In that case, list all the users. Let's try. Let's see whether any users are available. Execute. As of now, there is no users available. Status is okay. It's working fine, but there is no users available. Let's create few users. Let's create few user and then we will see once again. Okay, try it out. And what we need to create is, this is the value. I'm going to give this as a value. I know at the rate orionvexa.ca. I know Shishidhan admin. Okay, role is this one. And 201, that is the ID has been created. Now we'll go ahead and execute this once again. Get users, try it out. execute, we will get details of this one. It has created one ID for me, and the name is Anu Shashidharan. It has given my email ID, and the role is admin created at this time. Let's go ahead and create one more user. As of now, there is only one user. Let's go ahead and create one more user, and this time Ram, Ram, Ram Gopal. Ram Gopal is not an admin, is a developer. Execute. See the status code 201. That means new ID has been created. This is the name. This is the email ID. And it's the role assigned. It is created this time. Let's go ahead and see whether we can access this particular user ID or not. Okay. And I'm going to execute the same we have created previously. Post is done. I'm going to get the details once again. Cancel this one. Write out. Execute. Here we can see two users has been created. It is given a list of users. One is Anu, previously created. Second one is Ram Gopal, we have created. Let's copy this ID for the time being. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and see. We have seen get and post. And I want to give that user ID. Based on that user ID, I need the details of that particular user. I'm going to, let's try it out. I'm going to give this user ID here and execute. Now, if you want to get the details by command line, you can execute this one. Or if you want to get the request URL, you can use this one. I will show you one by one. As of now, from the Swagger Web API, we can see the details like this. I have given the user ID this one, and 200 as it's got processed. It's working okay. This is the ID. Sorry, this ID we have already copied. Not this one. Just given the details of the particular user. Suppose if you want to get the details from the web API, copy this URL and paste it here. It will give the exact details here in the browser. Suppose if you want to get the details from the command line or terminal, just copy this one. You can go to the terminal, open a new terminal. Let it come. Here, if you execute, now URL is not working. It's not working. Let's execute in the bash shell, because in PowerShell the backslash won't work, but here it will work. Okay. In bash shell, if you execute this one, it will give all the details. This is the ID, this is the name, this is the email ID, role created this time. This is how get with the user ID. Let's go ahead and execute other commands. Okay. Now I'm going to update some user details because we have get the details here. Let execute this one. Suppose for Ram, I'm getting this ID. I'm going to change his email ID a little bit. Instead of Ram, I'm going to give ram.gopal@orionvista.ca. Let's see whether it will get updated or not. Let's close this one. Put is ready here. Try it out. Is ready here. Ram Gopal string ram dot role developer. Let's see whether it is going to update this email ID or not. Execute it. Status code is 200. That means it's got updated. Here is the result. ram.global@orionvista.ca. Let's go ahead and execute the get command once again and see whether we can get the details or not. Execute and see. It is updated ram.global@orionvista.ca. Suppose if you want to get the details of only this ID, then we can give here and pass this details. That ID we got to pass. Yeah, latest my details I have taken. This is the second user. It is giving ram.gopal at orinvexer.ca. This is all about get, post, and put. So now we have read the data, created the data, updated the data. Now I'm going to delete the user or delete the data. That is delete endpoint. In delete endpoint also we need a user ID. I'm going to copy this user ID. Suppose I want to delete my name and let it close. I'm going to delete this endpoint. This is the user ID. Write it out. This is the user ID and execute. Status code is 204. That means 2x is always success message, response errors. Content, this is server use this one. 422 validation error. Code 20204 successful response. 422 validation. Let's see whether it has been deleted or not. That means 204 means response that has been deleted. Let's go ahead and see whether this is available or not. Execute. It is deleted my user ID. That means the delete has been successful. And this is all about this REST API. This is all. This is it. There is nothing more in REST API kind of thing. This is all what we can do. And sometimes if there is any authentication is there, we need to authenticate using the user ID and password and all. That's the only thing. Whenever you work with any enterprise, there if you want to test the Swagger API at that time, you need to pass the username and password all the time whenever you are executing this REST API and all. Behind the scene, it will be encrypted. The communication will be encrypted using TLS as we are using the HTTPS. Communication will be encrypted. No need to worry about that. And this is all about the REST API. Hope you understand what I have taken the session regarding the REST API. I have started from scratch. I have explained what is REST API, what is the principle behind the REST API, what are the status code, and I have shown you one application how it is being defined and practically demonstrate how we can do this activities using this REST API, using Swagger API, Web UI, as well as using command line. This is it all about REST API. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good day. Bye.